Hello and welcome to another episode of FUD Studios Presents Crypto News and Reports, where we bring you the newest and the truest in the crypto space. Today we're going to be talking about something extremely exciting and something I know that a lot of you viewers out there care about, which is what are the safest coins to be hodling for February 2018. Now, in examining what are the safest coins to be hodling, we're going to be looking at what makes a safe coin in general and the coins that have performed extraordinarily well during this downturn that we've seen in the last month. I'm here on the total market capitalization chart here for January, stretching all the way back to about the end of December, beginning of January. And as you can see, we have this incredible bull run up from about 500, right from about where we are now, from 562 billion all the way up to 830 billion. And now we have a nice big tumble. We saw it really bottom out here on the 17th of January. We're hoping that those are the dark days, that was the bloodbath, that this pump back up to 630 from 450 has been the recovery we're looking for. And now we're looking forward. We're going to take a little spin back in time so we can see what January and February looked like last year. As you can see, we're here at the beginning of 2017. We have a real nice bull run up until about the beginning of January, a nice fall off. It bottoms out here around the 12th to 14th of July, which was last year, or January rather, and now we just see a steady climb all the way up until, mid-March. So if we look at 2016, I have a feeling we're going to see something very similar. As you see, something very similar. And 2015. So what's the point? What am I trying to share with you guys? What I'm trying to share with you guys is that the past performance can sometimes, if analyzed properly, help predict future prosperity here. So we're looking at the beginning of January, a nice pullback, and we're hoping that this is, like other years before, a nice slow build until we get into March. So we're looking at the coins that have done well at protecting their value throughout this fall off and are looking like they have tremendous upside going into the future. Now today we're talking about safe coins, and we're talking about safe coins because we want to know, let's just say we had some real money that we were trying to stash into the cryptocurrency market that we were not trying to lose, and we wanted to put them in quote-unquote safe cryptocurrencies. Now, while there is no such thing as a completely safe cryptocurrency, there are several coins on the market that show tremendous promise and show that they are backed by so many forces as to be safe or safer than other coins. Now, when I think of safety, I think of when people refer to a potential crash in the market. People always are talking about a crypto bubble as though there's a bubble that exists around this market. While I do not believe that we are in a crypto bubble yet, I believe there is tons of possibilities for us to have too many coins on the market, too many coins doing the exact same thing. Now, when I see a lot of coins doing the exact same thing, I start to think, well, is one of these coins going to make the other one irrelevant, unnecessary? Now, many people like to use the examples of Facebook, MySpace, or Google versus Ask Jeeves and Yahoo. We all know that when it comes down to a certain type of technology, a certain type of application, that there are going to be winners, and there are going to be people who take the majority, if not all, of the market share. Now, I know that the platform game is where this conversation heats up. So we're going to go dive right in to what I think is the number one safest coin on a lot of people's mind, and that is, of course, Ethereum. So as we dive into Ethereum, Ethereum's holding right here at about just under $1,200. It's been up and down and all over the place, but really, Ethereum has shown a tremendous stable value holder compared to this rockiness of Bitcoin that really fell off of its high of 20K and came down to about half of what it was. Ethereum's high was about 1,400, and it's all the way back here at about 1,200. So it has made up most of the fall off that it has taken during this early January period, and it has really shown itself to be a tremendously stable value holder and just continuing to grow in value over time. As you see the one-year chart, you see some incredible movement upwards from Ethereum, even after the incredible year it had from December all the way up to January, and like I said, holding this gain. So what about Ethereum makes it so stable? Well, I'm not going to go into too much detail here. Many of you know about Ethereum. It is the original platform, the original smart contract platform created by Vitalik Buterin, the sort of wunderkind who has brought forth smart contracts and blockchain technology, brought it from just a simple transmission of value as it was doing with Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies before that, and really brought it as a tool set to give us, our society, access to blockchain technology across a wide spectrum of applications. Of course, Ethereum's not the only one. It is the first one. It has a wide community supporting it, and it has so many apps being built on top of the platform already that the value of Ethereum grows somewhat exponentially because of all of the projects that are bringing value on top of its base infrastructure. Many people complain that Ethereum is too slow, as we saw with CryptoKitties, if you were paying attention, crashed the servers back in November, December, and the whole question, the whole fiasco was, will Ethereum be able to scale? Now, we understand that Plasma is a project created by Vitalik Buterin, that it implements sharding into the Ethereum blockchain transaction framework, and essentially the sharding will allow for upwards of billions of transactions per second. No current blockchain in the world is touting that. I think the highest I've heard is something like 10,000 transactions per second across some newer blockchains that are using very advanced modern proofs of stake or proofs of work, and different interesting ways that they are circumventing the clunkier aspects of blockchain technology. However, all that aside, what I mean to say is Ethereum is going to scale. Ethereum has whatever it needs. There's no practical or technological reason why Ethereum will not be able to meet the demands of the market, in my humble opinion. And if this Plasma thing is able to get to the market within the next few months, I think a lot of the chatter around other platforms will sort of subside. But does that mean that Ethereum is going to be the only platform winner? Does that mean that Ethereum is the safest currency, period? Well, I'm sure there's an argument that Ethereum might be one of the safest currencies, period. But there is definitely certainly other ones. And one of the ones that immediately jumps to mind when you're talking about Ethereum is, of course, NEO. Now, NEO is one of the most unique, most interesting currencies that we have come across in quite some time. Now, when we think about NEO, when we think about what NEO is, a lot of people describe it as the Ethereum of China. Now, that is one way to describe it in a very simplistic term, but it is a very different platform in that its technology is much more expensive to use, which has sort of kept away some of the other dApps that would have been built on maybe NEO, but have chosen Ethereum because it's cheaper. NEO is inherently faster as a base transaction processor. NEO can process about 1,000 transactions per second, whereas Ethereum in its current form can only handle, I think, under 10 transactions per second. So that's a very stark comparison there. Again, I want everyone to be clear that transactions per second is not really the way to judge these projects because scaling solutions are coming out left, right, and center. NEO has the TNC Trinity Network Credit, which is an off-chain scaling solution very similar to that of Lightning Network. So we're going to be seeing speed really being taken out of the consideration as to why people are building on one platform as the other. And I believe that it is one of the few currencies that I could actually qualify as somewhat crash resistant. NEO has performed so well during this crash month that we've had in 2018. As you can see, we have the big pullback that bottoms out, in January 17th, as many other coins do, but you see it just bounce right back up here. And now it's almost, it's over 150 and it's pushing towards its all-time high of 186. Whereas, many coins saw, a 50% reduction. This coin saw maybe that, a 40% reduction, but then just popped back immediately to a very healthy level here, over 150 the day or two after, and then again down here for another little dip. But what we're seeing here is resilience from NEO. We're seeing NEO show that it doesn't want to pull back, even despite the other factors in the market. And this could be that while Chinese Lunar New Year saw a big pullback of other currencies, maybe the investors that took a break during Chinese Lunar New Year simply didn't pull out of their NEO. Maybe they just didn't pull out of their NEO as hard as they did on their other cryptocurrencies. So in my opinion, what NEO's shown over the last month is resilience. It's over $160 now. It's really rapidly coming up to its all-time high of 188. And I believe NEO is going to be somewhere in the $300 range in the very near future. Whether that is March or April, I'm not sure. But this is an easy 2x here. And probably, I'm very hesitant to make price predictions. But, I would be comfortable saying that NEO will go 5x, probably more within the course of 2018. This is an incredibly promising cryptocurrency that just keeps releasing amazing news and has amazing ICOs and projects coming out on it left, right, and center. I can't say enough good things about NEO, and it is my belief that NEO's relationship with the Chinese government suggests that it might come to really dominate Chinese cryptocurrency in a way that we can't even quite imagine when regulations might come in. So that's why I'm sort of holding a secret candle for NEO. I believe that there's a relationship between NEO and the Chinese government. Without going too deep on that, I think there's a relationship between NEO and the Chinese government that will give it an advantage in the coming era of cryptocurrency, beyond it holding all the positive sort of platform play traits that Ethereum has. Lastly, when you hold NEO, you get paid gas. Very few cryptocurrencies have a dividend built in, but NEO has a dividend in gas built in. If you are holding NEO, you are getting paid gas simply for holding NEO. And I believe that the total gas dividend is somewhere around 5% annually, which is almost as good as playing the stock market well in the normal person world. So NEO is an incredibly good investment. It's an incredibly safe currency to hold. And like I said, you get paid just to hold it. Gas is incredibly well valued in that gas literally has done almost 50%. Gas is almost 50% at NEO's price at most times. And if it's ever under 50% of NEO's price, as it slightly is right now, you can look for that gas price to come up and sort of hit that 50% mark. So I would say that gas is probably a good buy as well, as long as it's under 50% of NEO. But then again, it's sort of like a catch-22. Why would you buy gas when you're getting gas for holding NEO? It's like just buy the NEO. Anyway, finally, not finally, but next we have to talk about, if we've talked about Ethereum and we've talked about NEO, we just have to talk about Stellar. Stellar is, in my opinion, very, very complex, very hard to understand how big Stellar could be, because it is doing both what Ethereum and NEO are doing, as well as what Ripple and these micropayment sort of bank-style payments are trying to do. Stellar was a hard fork from Ripple's original technology, and don't make the mistake of thinking that it is Ripple's blockchain underlying. In fact, Jed McCaleb did significant overhauls to the technology underlying Stellar Lumen after forking it from Ripple, but nonetheless, Stellar Lumen's technology is sort of initiated or was conceived around the basis of a sort of micropayments banking infrastructure, or a currency itself used as a currency for almost instantaneous transactions and very little, if any, fees. In fact, the fees on Stellar are comically low, almost undetectably low, and we can expect that the goal is to keep them that way indefinitely. So Stellar right here is priced at about 60 cents. It was at an all-time high, I think, of almost $1 or a little over $1 back at early January. And in reality, I see, this price action I see as a sort of function of the total market pullback. But really the question is, why is Stellar on our list of the safest currencies here if it just took a pullback from 86 cents and it's now here at 60 cents? It's about 2/3 of its value, and it's not really showing tremendous pump signs here. And that's because I don't think the world is quite aware of what Stellar Lumen is yet. In fact, Stellar has just done their first ICO. Stellar has just launched an amazing new app called Mobius. And Mobius is going to be essentially going to be an app that's built on Stellar that allows for other apps to take payments. It's a utility app. But the point is that Stellar is doing ICOs, guys. Stellar is a platform now. Nobody realizes this, I don't think, but Stellar is essentially doing what Ethereum and NEO are doing. They are allowing for other projects to take advantage of their blockchain technology. And, from what we can tell, Stellar's blockchain technology is a lot faster than NEO's or Ethereum's, like significantly faster than both of those, to the point where Stellar doesn't even really need an off-chain scaling solution like Trinity Network Credit or Plasma. Does that mean that it'll be better than Trinity Network or Plasma? No, I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that Stellar, as a base layer, doesn't need the scaling solution in the same way that the other two platforms do. And Stellar has so many more things that it's doing. It's not just trying to be a platform for other people to build on. Stellar is literally an end-all be-all cryptocurrency. They want to be a financial tool for micropayments. They want to set up banking infrastructure. They're doing, I want to see if I can get it here, but they're essentially setting up ATMs all around the world. And they're allowing for people in, let's see, mobile money, is that it? Services for the unbanked. So they're doing incredible services for the unbanked. One of the things that they're doing is putting ATMs across the developing world where you can take your fiat currencies and whatever weird fiat currencies you might have from around the world, put them in, get crypto for them, and join this growing crypto economy that we don't realize is pretty regimented and pretty restricted to certain countries who have gotten their technology, gotten the exchanges, gotten the, we have Coinbase here in the United States where I can take my US dollars and buy Bitcoin. Obviously, there's more resources that have just come out, like the Cash App and other things like Robinhood's about to hit. But for now, we've had Coinbase now for years, and we take that for granted. So what Stellar's doing is essentially they're doing services for the unbanked. They're doing micropayment solutions. They're doing they're doing cross-border payments. They're doing essentially all of the financial staple functions, as well as becoming a platform for others to build whatever they want, crypto kitties, Stellar kitties. You could build anything on top of it that is as useful or as useless as you want it to be in a decentralized blockchain. And so what's happening here is that Stellar is not only going after everything that we sort of understand Ripple and other sort of strict financial utility coins are doing, but they're also going after the platform play. And from what we understand, that platform play is not to be taken lightly. Mobius released a tweet saying that Stellar makes Ethereum look like AOL or MySpace. So I know that's a very strong comparison that people always love to throw out there is what's the AOL, what's the Facebook, what's the MySpace, what's the early leader that's going to fall versus the sort of second generation technology that's going to become the winner. And Stellar's, although it's not newer technology than Neo or Ethereum, Stellar is, in a lot of senses, doing these things in a much more innovative, much more all-inclusive way. In fact, it's almost frightening how many things Stellar's trying to do, and it makes me think that if Stellar is very successful at what they're doing, then it could really come to eat the cake of not only Ethereum, but let's go here to the coin market cap. Let's go to here to the top 10. If Stellar is doing the platform and micropayments, but if it's doing micropayments better than Ripple, then buy Ripple. If it's doing platform better than Cardano, Neo, and Ethereum, then I'm not counting Bitcoin Cash here. I'm not going to touch on that. But and I'm also not counting Bitcoin here. I'm not speaking on Bitcoin here, not because I don't think it's a great investment. I do think Bitcoin is a phenomenal investment vehicle, but I'm talking about the safest cryptocurrencies, and I believe that these are even safer than Bitcoin for the reasons that I'm outlining, and that's their utility. So if Stellar is going to be a faster platform with more hospitable development conditions and lower fees, et cetera, than Neo and then Ethereum, and Cardano doesn't even have a working product yet, or they do have a coin, but they don't have their mainnet up for building on yet. So Cardano is just, they might come in, but they're late now. And not only are they late, but Stellar is working with IBM. Stellar has IBM's infrastructure. They have supernodes set up by IBM all around the world. So we know that IBM is holding and staking those Stellar coins and making this infrastructure globally function at the level that Stellar wants it to function at. And so what I see is Stellar has all the pieces in line. Stellar has the platform underpinnings. They have ICOs now. It has the micropayments. It has services for the unbanked. It has a decentralized exchange built into the coin, not just of cryptos, but Stellar is going to make it so that you can take any asset and attach it to a smart contract and trade it on the Stellar blockchain. So for example, if I had a amount of Google stock, I could hold that Google stock on the Stellar blockchain or a house or something of that nature and trade it. Yeah, that's amazing. I know it's kind of mind-boggling, but Stellar is making asset transfer, asset swap unbelievably accessible in a way that I think none of these coins are even close to doing. Stellar is such an amazing project, and its prices just doesn't make sense why it's so low to me. I see Stellar as potentially, certainly as big as Ethereum is now, certainly as big as Ripple, as any of these top 10 coins has gotten to be. And in my opinion, I don't understand why any coin should be bigger than Stellar at this minute. Well, not at this minute, but as soon as some more ICOs start coming out on Stellar, I will start losing my abilities to justify Stellar as a total market cap being smaller than any other coin. Thanks for watching this video. We hope that these tips have helped you in your cryptocurrency journey. If you like this content, please do me a favor and like this video so we know that you like the video and we can bring you more content that you like on this channel. Also helps us grow this channel and helps show this content to others who may be looking for crypto advice and news. If you enjoyed this shirt that I'm wearing today, you can pick it up on fudclothing.com. This is the McAfee FUD shirt. He is the FUD doctor, the distributor of fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And so let's look to him for all FUD things in the FUDdy future. That's it for me. Elio Trades out.